barrage, as were delegations from the other G8 countries. Angus and I were also there. Well, sort of. To be honest, a practice I fully support, particularly in politics, Angus and I were just bit players at this major London meeting. Proximity to the action is one clear measure of just how important you are perceived to be. So when I say Angus and I were bit players, I mean we were in the room for the big U.S. briefing, but we were seated on the extreme periphery of the proceedings, nearly in a different postal code from the boardroom table. But we were really only there to hear about flight departure protocols and timing for President Podovkin's short hop from Washington to Ottawa. In the 4-hour briefing, the specific information that we cared about consumed about 4 minutes. Yep, 4 scintillating minutes that kept me on the edge of my sleep. Even hours later, back in my hotel room, I was still feeling the effects of the stultifying briefing. But the mystery text I'd just received shook me from my stupor. I was in the briefing with you today, the no longer young woman seated at the far side of the room from you and saying nothing. I'm MI6. Please meet me at 2200 at the Copper Cup pub, back corner table, dark blue dress. It's important, strictly confidential, and very unofficial. While frightfully cliché, tell no one and do come alone. I read her text through several times and my heart rate moved up the dial from lethargy, right past, well, this is exciting, and held steady midway between red alert and battle stations. The 4th time I read it, I decided her words were unlikely to change, so I lowered my phone and instead paced up and down my room until I left a discernible trail on the carpet. That only took about 5 minutes. I don't think it was quality broadloom. I'd always thought the idea of one's hair standing up on the back of one's neck was a myth carefully cultivated by thriller writers and horror films. Turned out I was wrong. I pushed mine back down, then sat on my bed and thought long and hard about what to do, how to respond. There were so many options. Go to the meeting at the pub? Go to the head of the Canadian delegation? Go to our British government contact? Go to a movie? Go to sleep? And then in the midst of this maelstrom of possible responses, the answer materialized before me with crystal clarity. Of course, go to Angus. "All right then, lad, from the top," Angus said as he collapsed back on his bed. 10 minutes ago, which would have been at 2050, I began in my most authoritative voice, but stopped when Angus lifted one eyebrow so high it threatened to break free from his forehead. "What?" I asked. 2050? Have you joined the military?" "I'm just trying to bring some clarity to the story's details and avoid any confusion." "It just sounds a tad pretentious, and I fear it would soon be annoying." "Annoying? Well, I don't know why. I've only been doing it since 2100, I said, checking my watch. "Besides, I'm really just trying to get into the spirit of the evening. They always use the 24-hour clock in spy novels. James Bond never arrives 12 hours late for a secret rendezvous because MI6 uses the 24-hour clock." "Oh, sorry, lad. Did you say something? I must have drifted back to sleep there," Angus needled. "Now, can you move the sheep into the shearing pin with a wee bit more alacrity?" "Of course, but I don't know why we have to bring sheep into this," I huffed. Anyway, the text came into my personal cell phone, not my government-issued mobile, so the message was clean, off the grid and off the books. "Who are you spouting now, Tom Clancy or that Ludlam lad?" Angus shook his head. "Suffering, Daniel, get to the point." Okay. So here's her text," I said, handing him my phone. His eyes moved across the screen. Given the ensuing pause, I suspect he, too, read the text more than once. Eventually, he looked back to me. "Well, I didn't know how we're going to find you a dark blue dress to wear in the next hour," Angus said. I think that's what she's going to be wearing." "Ye gods, Daniel, can you not tell when I'm having you on?" "Right, sorry," I said. "I'm a little nervous and maybe a little excited." "So where is this Copper Cup? I've not heard of it." "I Googled it," I explained. "It's just around the corner from here. She must know where we're staying." Daniel, she's MI6. She probably knows what you had for breakfast.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.